Hi there, welcome to Bitesize Piano. In this lesson, I'm going to give you 4 really good hand finger exercises that you can practice just 5 to 10 minutes a day on the piano that's really going to help you build up the strength and coordination within your fingers. So this is really useful if you are a beginner and you're finding playing things like chords a little bit frustrating. But if you follow this lesson and incorporate this into your practice routine, then I promise that you will see a difference. There'll be technical emphasis as well on all of these exercises just to ensure that you're practicing correct technique. So let's get into the first exercise, but we just need to check one thing first. You need to look at your nails, and if they are too long, so if they're poking out above your fingers like that, you need to cut them because you won't have the best technique when playing these exercises. So the first one, I've just called it trills. So we're just going to be playing these on the white notes, and I'll go over my right hand first. I'm going to start with my thumb and my right hand on middle C. So a trill is where you play 2 notes like that, so back and forth. That's a trill. So the exercise goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to go 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then you're going to go up again, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And it comes back down. So make sure that your wrists are raised and that you are trying to play on your fingertips as much as possible. Can you see that I'm exaggerating my finger movement a little bit? Instead of, I'll be going like this. So you can hear the mechanics of my keys a little bit, so I'm sorry for that. Exaggerating your finger movement in that way, so making more movement, helps with clarity with the notes. So particularly between these fingers here. So your 4th finger, if you're not already aware, is the most rubbishest finger on each hand because it needs the movement of your middle finger or your little finger to move properly. It doesn't move very well independently. You do need to build up the muscles, very small muscles, in the hands there in order for you to be able to comfortably move it without putting your other fingers down. So we'll try it in the left hand now. So you're going to start with your little finger on C. We're going to do the exact same pattern. So once you're comfortable with it hands separately, you can then try it hands together. You can either try it in contrary motion, which is using the same fingers at the same time, so like this. Or you could do it in similar motion where you're playing the same notes at the same time. So this one, it will be slightly more challenging. Notice that I'm accenting the first of every trill. Now we're into the next one. So I'm calling this alternating thirds. So again, I'll teach it in the right hand first, and we're still just going to be in the C position using alternating fingers. This is a very good exercise for strengthening just generally your hand in general. So you're going to play 1 and 3, and then you're going to alternate the fingers. So that'll be your 2 and 4 next, and then alternate your fingers again, so it'll be 3 and 5, back to 2 and 4, back to 1 and 3, and you're just in like a loop like this. If you can, can, try and play them as I'm playing them, what's called legato, which is closing the gap as you go from chord to chord. So you can practice playing with the gap first, just to get the coordination between the fingers, and then once you've cracked that, you can then play legato. So there's a slight overlap in legato, in true legato. So in the left hand, you could either, again with your little finger on C, you can either do the same fingers, so 1 and 3, like your right hand. So it would be 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 5, 2 and 4, 1 and 3, and then just up and down like that. Now let's try that hands together. So make sure again that you're comfortable with it hands separately before you try it hands together. So we're going to try it in contrary motion first, so using the same fingers at the same time. So 1 and 3s. Sounds quite nice, this one, as an exercise as well. 2 and 4s, 3 and 5s. Now let's try it in similar motion, so use playing the same notes at the same time this time. Try and get faster. You could, if you wanted to, try playing it staccato. So the opposite of legato. So where you're making the note sound short and crisp, and you're detaching it from the next notes or notes. So you would brace your fingers on the notes you're about to pluck, if you like, first, and then spring it off. So you're like aiming, like placing, and then pinging off instead of that. So you need to plan your movement first, touch it, and then spring off, touch it, and then spring off. So the next exercise I'm going to show you, I've called it inner contrary motions, and we're going to do a closed and open one. But I'm going to slow that down. So there, again, just in a C position, so closed position, you're going to play 1 and 5, and then 2 and 4, and then just your middle finger, and then back to 2 and 4, 1 and 5. And you just go around like that. So it's contra motion, so the notes are going outwards and then inwards again. So inner contra motions, this is the closed one. Again, keeping it legato as possible, because the legato part of it is what's going to help build the strength. And again, whatever you do in your right hand, practice in your left hand as well. Don't neglect your left hand, or whichever hand happens to be your weakest. So now we're going to do an open version. I'm going to come a bit higher. I'm going to play octave Cs. If you can't stretch octaves, just play as far as you can. We're just creating more space between the fingers. And to be honest, it really doesn't matter which notes you play it on. We're just using all the white keys today. It's just practicing that motion, but obviously it would just help if it sounds nice as well. So we're going to play Cs, and then I'm going to use a 2 and 4 to play E and A, and then a G. Same fingers, but it's more spread out. I'm kind of lifting when I press my middle finger, coming back down, up, so my wrist is going up and down. And try it in your left hand. Might be slightly trickier, you might have to change the orientation a bit. You might have to press the F in your left hand, because obviously your hands are symmetrical. The third finger doesn't lie so naturally over the G. sounds interesting. But the F just might be more comfortable, so trying to force it there. So slight adapting for the left hand. Again, lifting up, down, up, down, up, down. On to the final one. We're going back to alternating fingers, so the 1, 3, 2 and 4, 5 and 3, but this time it's more spread out, so a spread one, and we're going to do it on alternating fourths this time. For this to sound quite nice, we're going to do it starting on E, so we're going to play E and A, and then G and C, and then A and D, so all playing in perfect fourth. So that's the fourth apart, we've got a fourth apart there, and a fourth apart there. So it sounds quite oriental. I really like the sound of this one. You can put the pedal down as well. And what helps with this one is if you can probably tell I'm doing it there, I'll move my hand up a bit more for the keys. I'll move my wrist, and my arm, my elbow is actually leading up and down, sorry, side to side. So you don't want to put strain, let your wrist help, or your elbow, your arm guide the movement there. Again, all smooth. I'm going to try it in the left hand. So 5 and 3, 2 and 4, 1 and 3. Really smooth again, keep your fingers raised, move it, so I can't talk and play at the same time, move your arm to help. That's the end of this video. If you have a request, please leave them in the comment section of this video. Also remember to like and subscribe. I've left some videos here you might like, so go and check those out. I also have a course, so if you would like to learn how to read music from scratch, go visit Bitesize Piano Course.co.uk. You can enroll and start learning. I'll see you in the next video.